Welcome to Multiverse Masters. This week for a blog post, I'm going to just talk about scripting. Now, I am not a scripter, so this is just some general observations because I know that a lot of educators will get objects or will want to do a script and they might feel a little intimidated by it. So I'm just going to show you some of my favorite scripts. A lot of these scripts I've picked up around OpenSim. Some I have researched on the OpenSim libraries or from Outworlds, and I'll show you that. So this is Outworlds. Now Outworlds, you have to be careful because there's two types of scripts. There is LSL, which is Linden Script Library, and that's for Second Life. And then there is OSSL, which is Open Source Scripting Language. And LSL is probably Linden Scripting Language, I'm sorry. So if you're doing for OpenSim, which I'm doing, you want to make sure that your scripts are OSSL because sometimes they work, but often the two languages just don't coincide. They won't work the same in both environments. So Outworlds is an awesome place to go for resources. And that you can just go to outworlds.com and there's lots of little links that'll take you around. Now, I am sitting on the fly scripts right now for flying animals because I'll talk to you in just a second about that. I got a full permission dragon and I hijacked an open source script that took a while because I had to position the dragon, but I actually want to research these options in these scripts to make it even better, the flying NPCs. So that's something I'm thinking about doing in a little while. Now, another really useful site is the OSSL wiki. And there's going to be a lot of other sites out there that are going to give you free scripts. They're going to give you commands. It's just not everyone has time to research all that. So here's some of my favorites. I just happened to want to edit this one, and this is my welcome lady. And all this is a new touch quote, and it's a random one. There's two types you can do. You can do one where they say things in order, and this one's just a random one. So if I pulled up the new touch quote, it's quite simple. And again, like I said, I just found this by researching. And this one is note card driven. So this is easy because all you have to do, you don't have to touch a script. And that's great for educators. You just go in here and you decide what she's going to say next. So I've got a list here. So I've got the information for Simulation 1 is by the Camera Shop. Simulation 2, oh yes, I wanted to add about Simulation 3. Simulation 3 has unscripted avatar models. And the reason I actually made unscripted avatar models is because I wanted to share some of these with people. And what was happening was they were complaining that once they got them, they couldn't edit them. And there's a reason for that. So I know I'm kind of jumping around. So once I save this, so I've added a line. And to add a line, you just basically, like, I want to edit this. I welcome. Be sure to explore. And then if I wanted to add another line, I'd hit enter, and that enter command lets the script know that that's where that line stops. Let's see, please come back again and bring friends. So there. All right, now save it. If you see a script that you'd really like to use, feel free to contact Multiverse Masters. You can go right to Kitely and just contact world owner, and I'd be happy to share. Most of these will say things in their scripts. So if it's set up here, a lot of these will say, please leave this line in the script to give to give credit to the designer. And so you just leave that in there. And then if you edit it, some request that you let them know that you've edited it. Okay, so close this. I don't need to edit the script at all. This script is great because you don't need to touch the script, and that way you're not going to break it. So now that I've done that, I can click on her. And this one is programmed to say the avatar's name. Some of them aren't. And it says leave a note in the mailbox. And every single time I click, she's going to say something else random. So you can click her as many times as you want, and she's just going to keep saying random things. And then this is a teleport script. And this was a freebie and by Lanny Global. So this one has the name of the creator right in the script. If you click on the script, do not change the script, do not change the copyright, do not sell the script, all rights reserved. So there's a lot of free scripts out there that you can use, and it'll say right in the script itself the conditions, but it's a fantastic, very useful script, and it's really kind of cool. So I'll show you what it does. When you sit on it, oh, look at those awesome effects. So I love it. And this is what I used for my ticket booths. And that has all my unscripted NPC models, which are all these people without scripts in them. The reason I had to do them without scripts is, if you go over here and you see she says I packed light, I love using hover scripts, but I actually like click on say better. So I kind of do a little bit of both. But if we edit her, there is a hover text from description, which I'm kind of using more often than my hover text script. The only time I really want to use the hover text script, which means you have to edit the script itself to change what's being said, is if there is something in the description that talks about the creator and they want it left in the description, then I use the hover text script. If there's nothing in the description that states a copyright, then I use the text by description because another person could use it without having to touch the script. However, when I wanted to share these, you can't simply just put copy, modify, copy, and transfer on the object itself. You have to go into the content and you have to set the permissions here and then apply them to make sure that if someone came and copied this, then all of these would also have permissions to them. Now, play sound list on res. I picked up this script as well with a nice public sound. So I like that one because it just gives a nice crowd noise. And it's real simple. Once it's in here, the only thing you need to do is you need to go in here, and this is where people kind of get nervous about scripts. Say I wanted a bunch of goats baying or whatever goat sounds they make. Let me see if this one you have to put the actual sound. And no, you don't. Good. So this is a good one that you don't have to edit the script. You just put in the sounds. So there's two types of sound scripts. Some you actually have to edit the script with the name of the sound, and this one just looks for whatever sound you put in here. And I have this in some other places too, and it loops the sound list. So if I close this, and I have another one over here in these other people because I wanted this to be a really crowded, noisy area. So I think I put one in one of these trunks. All right, there it is. So this one has a generator sound, and an idle. And then this one has a long list. So you can put as many sounds as you want, and it's going to play them one after another. And then once the sound list is all done, it's going to loop back to the beginning. So I find that really useful if you want a lot of noise in the background. And then he also has the description script. Now, if you deleted the script, this is one thing about the two hover text scripts. You cannot delete the scripts unless you want to. What happens if you delete the scripts without removing the hover text from the description and then resetting the script, or removing the hover text from the script itself and resetting the script, then this object, whenever it's shared, will always have that hover text in it, unless someone knows how to put in a new hover text script and erase it. So it kind of has a script memory to it. And I think I showed that in one of my other videos too. And then let's find some scripts that need editing, and I'll show you some basics here. We have giver scripts too. So this one's a bike over here. that it's a dispenser, and it gives you a pink or blue bike. And this is a hypertransport. The reason I like this better than a giver script, because there's a lot of give inventory or give note cards. This one tells you, and it will even email you. I think it emails you. Let me quickly read it here. It tells you when people have picked things up. And this one, of course, I didn't write either. And you can just read, and a lot of developers of scripts are really great. They put in these notes, and it kind of tells you about the scripts. So I find that very useful. So when someone comes and clicks on the object, it will let you know that someone has picked up an item. And then this one you have to edit, okay? So this part where it says state entry and say hello, it's really not necessary, because once you put the person in the world or put the script in something, it's only going to say that once. It's never going to say it again. What you want to edit for when people click on them is inside these two parentheses. And as long as you stay inside the, I'm sorry, not parentheses, quotation marks. As long as you stay inside the quotation marks, you're not going to hurt the script, because that's what's going to be said. So it says, so if I close this, and then I just click, and it's going to state the name of the object, man on bike. And then it's going to state what that person says. So say I didn't want it to say man on bike. Say I wanted his name to be George. Just go back to general, and you change the name, George. And then oftentimes I'll click off it to make sure it saves. And you see this was made by Baleen Hawks. And then when you click on him, you're going to say, George, click on the blue bike, and he'll talk to you. And then other than the hyperscript, there's other type of scripts you can get that gives objects, like in the hot dog machine. Now this one has several scripts, because you can actually wear this and bike around on it. And so in the main body is all these scripts that make it so if I save this to my inventory, I could wear it and bike around on it. But there's also scripts inside here. So what you want to do is you want to find those scripts, you go edit linked, and you click on different parts. So this has a vendor for a hot dog and the eat modify. So like the vendor, this is a really simple script. That one says Coke bottle. Oh, okay. That's why things aren't working right. So it's actually looking for a Coke bottle and not the hot dog. So let me go in my inventory. Okay, I have a Coke bottle. See, sometimes when you pick up things from other people, they don't always work, and you have to find out why they don't work. So this part gives a Coke bottle, so we don't need the hot dog or the eat. I wonder if I need a drink. And see, you can edit scripts that are hidden inside the prims. So that's a Coke bottle. Okay, now let's see if this works. So I just edited this. And also let me click on this one and check out this one, what the vendor says. Now this one says, let's change this one to, I know why they named it Hot Cat. I gotta check that out. I don't think it has a choice script, so I'm just gonna go Hot Dog. Let's try Hot Cat. This is an okra cola bottle. This is probably why none of this worked before. And you have to make sure that if it's capitalized, that you type in exactly what the item name is. Put cola here. I'll have to put a hot dog someplace else, a different hot dog vendor for the hot dog, because I'm curious about what the Hot Cat is. Okay, so now let's click on it and see if it works. Can't find inventory object Hot Cat. Okay, edit again. Oh, where to eat. Okay, so you have to get really specific. That's why I forgot. Hot Cat vendor. Gotta go exactly where to, and then save. So a lot of times you'll pick up items, you'll have to debug them. Okay, so now let's try that. Oh, I did a space. See, edit link. Click on this. Come on, guy. Okay, sometimes you have to. There we go. So I forgot a space in there. Space. No, it looks like two spaces. Two. Nope, one. Okay. I can't tell if that's a space or not. Where? Let's see. Okay, let's try that. If not, I have another trick. Yay! It worked. See. All right, so I'll accept. I bet that this is just a hot dog, but now I'm kind of curious. So I have to go into my inventory and look for Hot Cat. I have to wear it. Where? Floating now. Why? Worn on right hand. Let's change and see what I'm doing here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's actually a cat. That's hilarious. Now I don't have the eat. Um, it says where to eat. That is hilarious. So you see, you can pick up things and really be surprised by them. So here's another example of combining scripts into one object to kind of add to it. This has some particle scripts, which look like buzzing flies. It has a sound script, and this sound script just, you have to put in the sound. So instead of the one prior where it just plays a sound and the one prior just plays it constantly, this one you actually have to touch to create the sound, and you have to put in the sound name between the quotation marks. So you see when I click on the object as a whole, it only shows me the sound script. But if I edit linked and click on different parts to find out where they're located. Okay, so this has two scripts in it. It has the particle flies for garbage. It has an animation, and then it has a sit target. And so this sit target, it says for the city mission. That's because I picked it up somewhere. And it's just because I don't have sit female, sit generic, it's going to use the more than meets the eye. So it's just using whatever one is in there. So it just works. So that's cool. But if it didn't work, then I'd have to figure it out. So what this does, and that's why I kind of like this one's fun. When you, it just ate me. Okay. So then I got to stand. And then let's see if I can just touch it. And the plant makes that horrible sound. So you can touch it. And then when you get close to the prim that has a sit, when you sit on it, the plant eats you. And then you stand to get rid of it. I also have a snake I picked up somewhere that eats you as well, which is cool, but it's a different animation. So there is another one. Let me find the script. Okay, so there was one script that I saw and I loved, but it didn't have permissions. And it was from the Croatian Halloween hunt last year. And it was a question script. And being an educator, I really wanted to be able to use that script. So the best thing you can do when you find something that you're on another world or you're hypergridding, contact the owner, because people will often share. And so this is a question script from the Croatian Halloween hunt, and she was very nice to share the script with me so I could use it. And let me show you what it does. Now, in the originally, it was designed to speak both English and German because she had people visiting her grid from both languages. And so it was a multi-language script. And I turned it into another type of being able to have choices. So Sam has that. And it used to say something like, do English or German? And you click English or German. And now you can click no or ask or anything depending upon, true or false, or it's really so adaptable. And this script also can give you stuff. So it's layered. This script is layered. And I've edited it and worked with it, but I wanted to give the credit because the original script came from the Croatian grid. So even when I changed the name, like I turned this into a role play script, and I wanted to keep it, Croatian because she's the one that gave it to me, the owner of the Croatian grid. And actually, I probably should put something right inside the script as well, which I haven't done yet, but I should. So basically, you edit again inside the quotation marks to change it. And when you're reading through a script, it's often very self-explanatory. You look at how the script works, you read through the script, and usually you can figure it out. And just try to remember that if you're doing something, unless you are really comfortable with scripting, just change the things that are within the quotation marks and see if it works. And this one, of course, gives all the inventory, and it gives a note card. And there was one other script I got from the Croatian grid that was also very helpful. There was a prize giver. It was a prize giver script. I think the one I just clicked on, it was a prize giver script that I had to ask if she would send me, and she did. And what the prize giver script requires is that you actually type in the correct answer in order to get the items. And again, I turned it into a role play script. So over here, he has the prize giver script, and it has, I think she does. Yep. So it's asking you to put in something, and you have to type it in exactly as it's inside the script, or it won't work. But this is an excellent way to do like a treasure hunt or a quiz where they get a prize. Once they find something, you can give a note card with the answer. There's just so many uses for it. And see, this is the answer. So this one has a combined where it has the question script in it, but then it has this, you see German answer between the quotes, English answer between the quotes. I just made them both English. And then once you type the correct answer in, congrats, this is the right answer. Please be patient until you get your gift delivered. Sorry, this was not right. Please try again. So I found that to be useful in education. And this is a Sarah bot, Res bot. If you open it, again, it has the hover text from description, a mannequin script, which is basically copies your appearance. And then these are 3 appearances that I've saved in there. So you can save lots of appearances. The more appearances you save, the more choices it gives you. So again, if you're looking for a script, ask creators, ask people in Worlds if you see a script you like. Research it on the web. There is a lot of scripts out there that are free. Go to the OSSL wiki, go to Outworlds, and I even have like quiz scripts I picked up through the Rainforest Research Sim. A lot of them are free to use. Just look for permissions. I know Fredericks, he goes by a couple different names. His are open completely, even to put in objects you sell. So there's a lot of good resources out there. And basically, don't be afraid to ask people. Right, so that's kind of just a brief introduction to script basics. Don't be afraid to experiment. Save a copy of the script and experiment and see what it does. The worst thing you'll run into with the scripts is if something goes wrong, you'll get a whole bunch of errors, or you can always keep track of this as well. If you suddenly see your CPU jump up from, up to 50% because you're running a script, just debug. Debugging is very important too. So you go Alt-R in OpenSim, and you click on debug. So if your world is running funky and you've been experimenting with scripts, you get top scripts, and it will tell you what scripts are running that are causing lag. I have the Neon Trophy. These are all because I don't have lag right now. But oh, here's my dragon wearable. So I have a couple of these, and I'll show you. I'm going to teleport to where I already talked about. I was going to research those scripts. That's because in these 2 items, and the reason they look funny, how they're positioned, is because I used the Vibini's flying instruction. I used it from the Steam chair, and it's right in this note card, which I've left in it. It says right down here, do whatever you want with it, but don't sell it. So these work. You copy them to your inventory, and then you wear them. But it took me quite a while to position them on the avatar, and that's why right now they're in these odd positions. Because if I change their position, I'd have to reposition them on my avatar. And then it just works with your fly command. I'm going to experiment with other ways to make flying dragons. So really, once you get into it, it took me about 2 years to get really comfortable with scripts. And I'm not a script writer. I'm a tinkerer. So there's just some brief introduction.